Ahoy! Alright guys, today's video is 10 years in the making. What am I talking about? Well, a good time ago, 7, 8, maybe 9 years ago, I bought a second-hand Leica Q. I sold that camera after using it on very many trips, and I shot many thousands of photos with it. And ever since that day, I always regretted selling my Leica Q. The Leica Q is a 24 megapixel full frame sensor with a 28mm fixed lens with an aperture of f1.7. It's a really beautiful little camera. It has contrast detect autofocus, which in some of the older camera bodies and the other camera brands isn't that good, but I would say it's pretty good on the Leica Q. And this is the second time I bought this camera. So in 2025, I have bought the Leica Q for the second time. Why did I buy this camera? Well, when I was looking back and I was thinking about all the different photos that I've taken over the years, I've got stuff hanging in galleries, in different exhibitions, and I've got it on my walls here at home, these really big canvases. And it might surprise you to know that actually a 24 megapixel sensor is plenty big enough to shoot the videos and not the videos, but the photos that are massively able to be printed on a wall. The other thing about the Leica Q is that it is really an immaculately designed piece of equipment. This body, it's minimal size. The lens is a little bit big, yes, but the experience is really simple. And honestly, I got it again now because my Nikon ZFs, which I'm filming with now, and the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, they're the cameras that are doing the job of taking videos. They're doing the log footage, the HLG footage that I grade for professional work, that I use for my client work. So I don't really need this camera to be a hybrid that can take video. Now it can take video, but it sucks. It's 1080p high definition video, but it's just, it's a 10-year-old camera. What do you expect? But if I needed to in a pinch, I can take the photo, I can take the videos with it. So it made me think, do we really need all the latest tech all the time? I've been on this journey of trying to minimize all my gear and get down to this kind of consolidated set of really small cameras. But then I didn't really enjoy the experience that much. Sony make incredibly advanced technology and immaculate cameras, but compared to the ZF, which I'm filming with now, I absolutely adore this camera. My only drawback is that I wish it was about this size. So I figured rather than waiting for them to maybe make it or maybe not, or a different brand to make it, or look at the Lumix S9, which is also good, but has only got screen, I'll go back to the Q. Am I interested in the Q too? I was, but then I started to do a little bit of deep digging. I started to research the different photodiode size and the microns, the measurement of these photodiodes on the sensor. And I realized that one of the best cameras, the best hybrid cameras ever, the Sony a7 III, has got about 6.5 thereabout micron size photodiodes, which are these little things on the sensor that help gather the light in ambient and low light situations. For me, that's a really important prerequisite because I don't want a camera that is super high resolution but absolutely sucks in low light. The other thing I was researching is that the 24 megapixel sensor, there's this kind of scale. If the Sony a7S III, FX3 and the ZV-E1 are at the very top with 8 micron size photodiodes, which are huge compared to the Leica Q, the Sony a7 III, the Nikon ZF, the Nikon Z6 II, and some other cameras. We go 8, we go 6.5 to these cameras, but what I realized is these higher megapixel cameras, these Sony a7R5, Sony a7CR, the Leica Q3, I mean, a lot of these higher megapixel sensitive cameras, they have much smaller photodiodes. And the inference there is that if I've got smaller receptivity to low light ability, it's not really going to cut it for what I do. I don't have access to studio strobes and speed lights everywhere I go, and nor do I want to be carrying them and setting up a scene all the time. I have a journalistic style photography, or a very intentional photography style, where I'm setting up a creative ad or a shoot of products. So for me, the Q is a perfect everyday carry. It's my EDC, but it has just the right amount of megapixels to give me great quality, massive prints. And it also gives me low lightability to a certain degree, because it is an optical image stabilized lens with a full frame 35mm sensor. And because in 2025, this is a 10-year-old camera and old tech, you can get them at a fairly reasonable but still expensive price. About 2.5 grand Singapore dollars, maybe 2 or thereabouts. It still holds up. The image quality really holds up on this camera. And for me, right now, I'm very happy with what I've got with the Q and the ZF. Funnily enough, I have become really accustomed to shooting with the ZF, and I really love the color science behind it, where I actually started to tweak the Leica Q settings and the JPEG exports, so it gives me a similar color tone to the rich tone portrait that the Nikon system offers. Now, one of the things I was looking at is I know that the new Leica Q3 and Q3-43 offer a film simulation style, which seems to be in vogue nowadays, so everyone can run them on their JPEGs. But honestly, I'm not using any of those things. I mean, it would be nice to use, but I have my R&I Films app, which is just helping me get that photo style from real photo stock that was simulated and scanned by people that know what they're doing. And I don't want to spend hours upon hours color grading, although I can, and I have the skills to do so. I want this to be a streamlined workflow. I want to be quite fast, and I want to have fun with this. And that's what the Q and the JPEG workflow currently works for me. Combined with the Apple ecosystem and my iPhoto, which I'm testing now, I have a fairly integrated, seamless system that can connect across any device anytime I need, as long as I have internet connection. So the moral of the story, and what I wanted to impart as knowledge, is the top quick specs for the Leica Q are this. They're pretty comparable to this. And if you're looking for a fantastic camera in 2025 that will not break the bank anymore, but you've always been wanting to get into the Leica system, then I think the Q might be something you want to look at, because this is the second time I've had it. And I have some really, really ginormous prints. And this little gallery I'm about to show you is a lot of the photos that I took with this camera. A lot of the memories, a lot of the keepers, and just the stuff that I really enjoyed taking. Got a little grip on it. It looks a little big, but there is some cheap accessories. And the other benefit in the hack that I've been discovering recently is that there is a Panasonic battery that is like $15. And I just bought that with a charger, and I could buy like 4 of these batteries for less than 40 bucks. That is a hell of a lot more affordable than one of those like a Q2 or Q3 batteries that pushing 120 plus for one of those special batteries. So, you know what? It's kind of economical, makes a little bit more sense. Money don't grow on trees, but you know, I want to go out there and start taking more photos, and this camera allows me to get back into that world. And there is some nostalgia behind it. I'm very happy shooting with this system, this camera. So I wanted to impart this knowledge, and I just wanted to share that if you are considering to upgrade any of your camera gear in 2025, maybe don't, because I think everything is plateaued. It's at a certain level. Everything's looking great, it's shooting great photos. Maybe we don't need to upgrade so much anymore. Maybe consider some of these older cameras. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share this. I hope it helps. And I mean, I know I'm geeking out, but look at that thing. It's so pretty, and it takes pretty pictures. So if you need one, check it out. They're going cheap, and you get them for good quality. This is immaculate quality for what it is. So I hope it helps. keep shooting. If you've got any questions about the camera, this is my second tour of the Leica Q, so I've got some skills and experience, and I'd be happy to try and answer them in the comments. As always, keep creating. Peace out. I hope that helps you, and just, you know, save $1. Save some money, have some fun. Happy days. Cheers.
Especially when I see someone, I want them to smile.